guys live. There's no warning. There's no thing. I was considering going live. I was considering not going live. I don't know. But the most predictable fucking thing just happened. So you guys get to ride along with me. I'm by the colony. And guess what? The homeless encampment's on fire and the department is there. To the surprise of no one! The predictable thing that was gonna happen, it fucking happened. What up, Andon? Homeless encampment's on fire. In the name of all that is holy, what is going on? Well, if you're typing, I think the answer is yes. But what the shit is going on here? Yeah. Well, nobody's dead here, but the homeless encampment's on fire. But that was the most predictable thing to happen. The homeless dog is angry over there. Like, nobody could have seen this coming. That a large open fire at a homeless encampment would eventually lead to a large uncontained fire. Yeah, there's multiple people in there. That's a fairly large. As you can see, the homeless encampment starts there and it goes all the way past the fire engine. There's many people living there. Unfortunately, in 2025, common sense not so common. So they've got a big uncontained fire around a bunch of flammable shit, and now they're surprised when shit goes up in flames. It's like, my sympathies, but also you should have seen this coming. Like, good grief. Ow! Maybe Gino will be here. I can say hi to Gino! Nah, it's just stupidity. It's just dumb shit. And the fire department, yeah, I know, here we come. The fire department is now leaving because the homeless people put out the fire themselves. Hello, hello, Mary Lee, how's it going? So I actually don't know how much time we're gonna spend with the cats tonight. And I was actually thinking about canceling the live fully because it's very, very late right here in LA. Shh, quiet dog. It's very late in here in LA, but I don't know if you can see from the smoke plume, but when I pulled up, the open fire at the homeless encampment was massive. Massive! And then the fire department came, and I gotta tell you, it's the most unsurprising, predictable thing in the world that people around a bunch of flammable shit would have, with an open flame, would have a fire. For real. I mean, New York is a city of 8 million people, and so, like, some parts of it are hell, some parts of it are wonderful. It really depends. But, you know, most large American cities, New York, Los Angeles, they've got some beautiful parts and got some not so beautiful parts. Hello, Celeste Perez. Hello, Dobo YT. Yeah, the most predictable outcome in the world was that it's just, whatever. Okay. It's ridiculous. But yeah, in other news, I went to Home Depot today and I bought a magnetic broom. Let's go. It's surprisingly good at sweeping up magnetic stuff. which there is plenty of here at this machine shop. Beep, 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 beep. Meow. All right. Now, we're about to see if any cats are here. What's up, Elijah? It's all good. I did not do any warning or anything. I was actually planning on scrapping the live altogether because there's just no cats here out right now. And, hello, BF, for ers. Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, most of this is pretty harmless. It's just like, you know, brake dust and whatnot. But like this thing that looks like jumper wires, or like, this is actually my second, what would you call it? Second, load, I suppose, or like second, pass after. So the first time I cleaned it, I actually found a freaking, X-Acto knife. Also, I know it's not, but every time I go past this thing, I think it's a condom. It's really, like, frustrating of sorts. Ow! Okay, when I got here earlier, there were cats. So let's feed some cats. But we're not doing very much. We're doing, like, 3 cats. Can you get a mine detector? Yeah. Danger. I mean, look, here's the thing. Thankfully, Los Angeles has regular street sweeping, so it's not my job to go about cleaning the entire street. But, ow! Kitty! Dick Grayson! Hey, Dick Grayson. Hey, other kitty down there. But like, yeah, you can actually see, here's load number 1 of magnetical shavings, and there's a nail in there. And, yeah, I'm not rooting through that crap. But yeah, there's a lot of junk, and there's a lot of gunk. Hello, Just Dylan M1V. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's not my, like, I'm more than, like, I want to keep the cats safe, so I bought this so to, like, remove any, like, extraneous metal here, although I'm somewhat limited in my ability because a lot of the stuff that they work here at this machine shop is aluminum, and aluminum unfortunately will not get picked up by a magnetic broom. But you know what? The steel and the iron will. So that's, you know, something is better than nothing. Hello, Atia Rashid. Is there a release button? No, this is just old style magnetics. So you just kind of gotta, I think you just gotta swipe it off. So, like, I just... Second, sorry. See if I have one of these janky, grade A maximum jank bar towels. The ones that are ready for the bar towel factory in the sky. Ugh. Janky, gross. Any old iron, any old iron. All right, I'm just thinking about James May and Jeremy Clarkson singing that song to Hammond in his friggin' Morgan three-wheeler. All right, holding the broom with my leg parts. We have accomplished a thing. But yeah, like the big pieces like this sucker right here, kind of spooky, but that's what it is. All right, kitty. Hey, Lil V. All right, let's feed some cats. There's already dry food. How many of my... Yes, and both of my containers from Monday are still here. Yes, yes. Maybe the guy's finally getting so beaten down with the fact that us cat feeders are relentless. He stopped. Hey, Winston! He stopped throwing shit out, or at least as much of the shit out. He still throws shit out, but he throws less out. All right. This guy away. That's garbage. Well, I hope Rockstar has very good luck. You know, speaking of the vet, there's something I think that I need to discuss with you guys, because it's like, it's a David thing that I'm having some issues with, and like, you know, talk it over with y'all, and maybe we can work stuff out. There's not much to work out. It's just me needing to get off my butt and like be a good cat parent. But Winston. But who's that underneath the thingamajigger? What's up, Dean P? Are you though, Dean? Are you though? Yeah, life is kind of difficult like that, and unfortunately. All right, let's get the feeding going. Let me get some containers, and we'll feed these cats. Actually, we're gonna do it like this. Oh, like the third eyelid, you're saying? Marilee? Okay, kitties, go meow. All right. Hey, Liz. Hey, Ms. Liz. Okay. Oh, no. A grade... A grade 4 heart murmur. That sucks. That's unfortunate. But you see, look. All right, hold on. Shit. So, like, look, this is aluminum, so it didn't get picked up by the magnet. That sucks, kind of. Let me back up slightly. Like I said, this place does a lot of machining in aluminum, and aluminum is very much not magnetic. I don't know, but I'll hit you with this actual rap lyric. Your booty is heavy duty like diarrhea. I'm pretty sure it was Lil Wayne. Thank you, Wheezy F Baby, for all that you've done for that bit to help the world. Okay, let me talk to you about what's eating me. All right, trolls like trolling, indeed. Am I homeless? Meow. I don't own a strip mall, but and this is actually true. My dad's primary job, he's an environmental lawyer, so he does brownfield development. So most of what he does is taking old Superfund sites and chemical waste areas or in and around Los Angeles and turning them into shopping malls. So while I don't own a strip mall, my family has been involved in the development of many strip malls, and there may or may not be some partial family ownership of said strip malls as part of my father's payment. So, you know, remains to be seen. But am I eating cat food? No, 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 no. I'm feeding homeless cats. Here comes one. Liz, I need you to show up in front of the camera or people are going to think I'm just crazy. Oh, sweet. Oh, sweet, Esty. Yeah, my father does primarily brownfield development. So yeah. Hey, Manice! Manice! Come here, Manice! Denise the Manice. Okay, also, Dean P. Dude, on the subject of glizzies, so one of the restaurants at Universal right now is doing a mega glizzy, which, and I shit you not, is 2 feet long. I swear to you, it is 2 feet of glizzy goblin. It is... if we're talking fully loaded glizzies, that thing is a fully loaded glizzy. And not just that, but it's they literally take the fully loaded glizz and then they put chili and cheese on top of the glizz. So that's 2 feet of glizz, 2 feet of chili, and 2 feet of cheese in a 2-foot hoagie roll. It's disgusting. It's so bad. I'm sorry. Love, it's so ridiculous that me and the chefs are like, what the heck is this? So the line is just making jokes on jokes about that stupid glizzy. No, I can't show my glizzy. This is YouTube, not YouPorn. So Dean, they don't actually add onions. There is onions and you can request them and we will add them at no extra charge, but by default they do not put... Hey, Manice. Manice. Manice! Come on, Manice. Hey, I mean, 7-Eleven, midnight is... What? Midnight's really the only time to enjoy a 7-Eleven glizz. Otherwise, you're just kind of ridiculous. Ow. Come on, Manice. Make yourself seen and noticed and heard. Oh no, this is a granite machining table actually, person, and this is just a place where the cats seem to enjoy eating. So this is where I put the food, especially when there's not too much food that I'm putting out because there just aren't that many cats. Come on, Dick Grayson. Okay. Okay, let me back up. Exactly, Bill Dismet. Okay, let me, Marilee, let me back up. I think I saw your question, but let me check it one more time. Sorry, I was getting I was getting myself straightened out and what have you, and then getting the food out of the way. Let me see. What's up with the network? I feel I went from a bunch of people watching to 2. You can't hear me not for any stupid reason. It's just because I'm stupid and accidentally hit the mute button. I'm a dumb. Sorry, guys. We had a dipshit moment. Yeah, when I went to flip the camera, I must have accidentally hit the mute button. My bad. So yeah, Marilee, I'll be the first to admit my thumbnail game on YouTube is kind of doo-doo garbage. So, like, I'm not, like, to be honest with you, 9 times out of 10 for my uploads, I just choose one of the 3, like, YouTube suggested thumbnails and just rock with that. If not, of late, what I've been doing is I've been selecting just photos I have in my photo library of cats. Most of them, I try to have the photos be of rescue cats. So like most of the photos have Baby Blue or Ozzy or the Creamsicle Twins or something like that. But yeah, so that's option 2. Or option 3 is if there's a good moment in the video that I think would make a good thumbnail, like me getting some good pets on a cat, or like the cat's doing something funny or something like that, I'll watch the video on my phone or something like that, and then when it gets to the part, I'll pause it, screenshot it, and then the screenshot will be my thumbnail. So that's the 3 ways I do thumbnails. It's nothing special. Like I said, my thumbnail game is kind of garbage, but but I mean, here's the thing. I think you need to have a decent thumbnail that kind of will like just to draw people in. But I, for one, and you can sue me for this one, I'm getting really friggin' tired of all the thumbnails that like influencer types doing, where they're just like, wow, this is my thumbnail, like shock face, like, and I have friends who do shock face, but for me, I'm like, I cannot do that. Like, if you ever see a shock face, yeah. So Marilee, when you go to upload a video to YouTube, once it won't let you do this It won't let you do this until the video itself is fully uploaded, because it'll only give you one option. It'll only give you like the like when you go to, you know how when you go to upload videos in either 300 blackout ACC. Wait, hold on. Who was recently shot with 300 blackout? I don't know, whatever. Nah, I'm not Screet. The Screets are not being fed by me. Although the Screet kitties are being fed. The return of the Menace. Come back, Menace. Yes, Chris, I thought I saw what you said, but being that it was stupid, I chose to ignore it. They ever sentenced that one? Do you mean Luigi Mangione, the guy who shot the healthcare guy? Yeah, Luigi Mangione. Yeah, I mean, I was talking to some friends about how Peter Thiel should probably be Luigi'd with the quickness, but, you know, that's between me and y'all. But I can see the sky. Tatiana, it's not the only thing that changes rapidly. Okay, sorry, Marilee. You know about my ADHD be doing stuff. I'm here singing real estate songs and filming the Calico. Okay. So here's the situation. We're gonna put face cam for a second, just so you can see me. I'll switch the camera back if anybody other than Liz starts eating. What am I stealing? I'm stealing your mom's heart. That's what I'm stealing. But other than that, nothing. No, it's a kitty cat. It's a kitty cat. Look, it's Liz the cat. Okay, Andon, stay safe out there, man. But yeah, so okay, so Marilee. Deuces. Nah, bro. I never been to jail because I pick locks. I know how to get into things and out of things without leaving any trace. I'm beyond covert. I'm surreptitious as fuck. Kidding. But jail taught me to take a shiv when I go into the shower, but for some reason I don't need it anymore when I'm living by myself. Marilee's like, focus, David. All right. Okay. So here's the situation. Here's what you want to do. Beep, 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 beep. No, wait, hold on. How do we film? All right, actually, let's... Kanye West Bank. That's actually a really good username. Pity about the lame ass comment, but you know, whatever. Oh, the cat. Oh, the cats are actually Stinson. The good thing is, all of the cats that you see here have been fixed already. Okay, actually, Marilee, shorts are actually different than standard videos, so let me explain both of them really quickly. I'm gonna go here because I need to consolidate the cans, the leftovers. There we go. Multitasking. Sometimes when I'm doing a task, it's easier for me to concentrate on other stuff. All right, so okay, so first off, Thanks, Stinson. Best to you too, fam. All right. So, okay. So, I'll do long format videos. I don't think you do a whole heck of a lot of those, but I'll just tell you really quickly because it's easy. So the long format videos, you will need to upload it fully, and then once the video is fully uploaded, you go back in the video into the edit section, and on the top where the actual image is, there'll be a little button, and you hit that button for the thumbnail, and it'll give you 3 choices. Hello, Lily. We're feeding homeless cats, and now I'm just doing general yap sesh for a few more minutes, and then I'm gonna head home because I need to take care of my parents' cat because they're in Cabo, and I'm working my ass off. They're in Cabo and I'm in hell. So yeah, that's for long format videos, Merrily. For short formats, it's a little different. You actually have to do it before the upload. Once you get to that upload screen, I believe it is. It's been a while since I did a short, so I might have to review this and I'll give you an update if I'm wrong. But ow! Lil V, go eat. Lil V, go eat. Tatiana, you're eating? Good job, T. No, you know, Chris Taylor. Hey, did you play for the Dodgers, CT3? Well, I mean, thank you, Lily. Okay, but yeah, so for shorts, you have to, for shorts, you do it, as far as I know, before the upload. So when you get to the actual upload screen where you select where you put the description and you give this short the name and you say whether it's for kids or not, what you do there is it'll give you like a little pencil thing, I believe. Like, you know how the image is on the top left of the upload screen? So you go there and you can basically slide through the 15 or 60 seconds or however long the short is. It'll give you the option to slide through it, and you can basically choose any still frame from the entire short. So that's how you do shorts. The one thing I've noticed is that once the short is uploaded, it's borderline impossible to change the thumbnail, or at least in my experience. I also don't try that hard, but that's generally the gist of it. And obviously this particular... Dean P, you're absolutely correct. However, in case anybody wants to see my dinner for tonight, I'm more than happy to show you because I haven't eaten it yet. It's either delicious or disgusting, depending on what your thoughts are on particular brands of fast food. Where are the cats now? They're around. It's almost midnight, so most of them have already gone to sleep, but some of them are out and about. I'll show you a few of them in a second, Lily. Give me a sec. But just for y'all who are curious, tonight's dinner for Mr. Romano is, sorry. Nah, it's not 2 p.m. It's not 2 foot glizzy, unfortunately. It's half-pound French dip and Swiss with au jus from Arby's plus Jamocha shake, because I am a little man whore. That's dinner. Hello, Nimble. Okay, Tatiana. So there's Tatiana, Lily. She's one of the longest. It is a little dark. It's also a little bit late, but yeah, Tatiana, who just went underneath there. That's Tatiana. She's one of the longest tenured cats here at this colony. She's also a little bit social and a lot bit sick. So me and the other people who take care of this colony have really been trying to get her home and, off the streets permanently. Unfortunately, she's been escaping us at every juncture because she's very street smart. Yeah. And let's see if I can see any other ones. Like I said, most of them have already pieced out because it's late o'clock and they're like, we want to go to sleep and we've already been fed and we don't need you, David. And could you please come earlier in the future, my boy? Okay. Speaking of, can you please come? Oh, you have a calico, Lily? Because that's awesome. I don't. Calico is one of the few coat colors that I don't have, actually. Although I do have 2 torties. Come earlier, that's what she says. And how, Dean P. So speaking of coming earlier, and that's what she said. Not so much that that's what she said, but the coming earlier. Let me just put these can lids away very quickly. Hello, no more innocence. Okay, we'll go check really quickly on the Fats colony. I went by Charlie Zone, and I'm not going back there right now. There's literally a homeless dude sleeping right outside that building, so I'm not going to disturb him. I'm going to let him sleep, and I'm not going to go over there and start making meowing noises. Also, dude look more of the like raggedy schizophrenic version, so just let him be. Let Cuzzy be. All right. So the FCC won't let me be or let me be me, so let me see. They try to shut me down on MTV, but it feels so empty without me. Okay. You have 5. Nice, thank you. I have 5 of my own as well, although there's also 3 fosters in my apartment right now, so there is a grand total of 8 kitty catos. It's okay, guys, I'll be fine. I'm generally a pretty street smart person, and though it might be dark, it could be much, much worse. I've had some rough instances with, like, you know, crazy people, drunk people, meth heads, stuff like that, where they're like, they don't really see the vision, shall we say. Nahui. Pizda. I'm on my way to fuck your mom. That's where I'm going. Okay, just to clarify, peeps, though, although I support your right to own a blicky, I personally do not own a blicky, although there is a can of bear mace in my car. So if someone does too much buffoonery, he's getting that whole can unloaded in their eyeballs. But I myself do not have a blicky, a strap, a switch. What other synonyms can I get for pew pew? Ow! Fats! Ow! Fats is here! Ow! Ow! What's up, I Love Rome? We're with Fats now. I haven't seen you in a minute, Fats. Ow! Hey, Fats. Ow! Come on. Say hello. Ow! Fats is one of my great originals. Not only is he fixed, he used to live at the main colony where we just came from, but for some reason he ran over here. Honestly, in the long run, at first I was really sad about that, but now that it's getting kind of dicey at the main colony, I'm happy that he's safe over here. The downside is that I don't slide every time I come to visit. But yeah. Fats is one of the first cats that I socialized at the colony. dude. I'll give you mad pets. You know that. Bonk. There you go. Fats. Hey, dude. Hey, Senor Fats. Can I get a bonk? Wee! Wee! Hey, dude. Fats. Fats. Senor Fats. Yeah, dude, I was here on Monday. You weren't. So I hung out with Gino a bit. But that's okay. You're the number one at this colony right now. You know that. If you came back to the other colony, you'd be the number one there. But I don't want you to come back. I want to migrate all the social cats here instead. They'll be safer. Can I get a... All right, if I stand up, can I get a wee? Wee! Oh, I'm the... Whee! One of my favorite, like, fatsisms that I'm trying to get him to do for y'all on camera, but he's not playing along right now, is he'll jump up on two legs so I can pet his head sometimes. I call it the Fats Whee! Fats Whee! Fats Whee! Can I get the wee? Wee! Nope. Alright, fine. I'll give you food. He's like, I'm not a monkey. I'm a cat and I want food. I'm hungry. Ismael Vasquez, I wish I could keep him, but unfortunately I'm already having issues where I need to unload some of my foster cats as quickly as possible or I'm going to get in trouble with my landlord. What's up, Melanie? Also, just to clarify, I'm not calling the cat Fat. His name is Fats. As in Fats Domino. That's right, Fats. So Lily, the reason I took so long is because I don't see Fats all the time. So I want to do, you know, I want to give like a moment of like re-socialization and making sure that he knows who I am and like that he links having a good time with me with getting good food and being able to eat. So like it's about forming those positive pathways in the cat's brains because these were all feral cats at some point. So it's about exactly, Marilee. Do I know the hit video game Ultra Kill? I'm sorry, but I don't. I do not know that. I apologize. I'm not much of a video game dude, unfortunately, but yeah. So yeah, so now I've kind of, so now, now we're gonna leave him to eat in peace at his own pace. But like I said, I just want to have those pathways and not break them. Like if he goes too far without if he goes too long without socialization, he'll start to, or without interacting with humans in a positive way, he'll start backsliding on his socialization. And then when it's time to take him off the streets, whenever that time comes, it's going to be really difficult. Whereas right now, Fats is not coming off the streets anytime soon, unfortunately, unless somebody specifically requests, hey, I want to rescue Fats from me. But like, he's too healthy, he's in too good of a shape. There's other cats that are a higher priority. And also here he's in relative safety overall. Whereas the other cats at the main colony that as I call it, they're under a little bit more pressure than Fats is right now, or Charlie is. Like those two, the cow cats, for whatever reason, Fats and Charlie are doing pretty well. Hey, Fats. He came to hang out with me. Hey, dude. Meow. Oh, I love Rome. The funny thing is, you actually do get XP in the chat. You see how there's I don't know if you can see it right now, but there's a number 3 next to your username, and that's because the more you chat, the more messages you leave, the higher up the rankings you go. Now, I will say this, giving money, super thanks, is the easiest way to shoot to the top of the rankings, but yeah, Fats and me, we've known each other for a long, long time. He loves me and I love him, although I will say one thing, he's also like mega asshole at times, so like if I'll... Yeah, he's got plenty of water. Yeah, no, I mean, I love Rome. Absolutely no requirement to do anything. I'm just saying that seems to be like the cheat code, but you can also just be a prolific commentator and engage in discussion and whatnot. Yeah, so, Merrily, XP is experience points. It's a video game. It's a video game terminology, but basically YouTube now does do points in the chat, and it does do a chat leaderboard. So Indiana Yonez, this is not necessarily my cat. This is Fats. He lives at this location. Kanye West Bank. As a matter of fact, yes, I am. I'm also an atheist, unfortunately, for you, because while I was born Jewish, I do not subscribe to organized religion at all. So I cannot, I feel, so Indiana, yeah, so I can't take him home. Merrily wants Fats, and Mel and I wants Charlie. If you guys can make it into Los Angeles, I'll get rid of the I'll get rid of the socialized cow cats with the quickness. But yeah. But yeah, at the moment there are many much cats in my apartment. You know, because between my cats and I have foster cats there. There's just, so this guy's a dude. or sorry, this is a male dude cat, not a female dude cat. This is a dude guy. This is a guy who is occasionally being a dude. Ow. Ow, bro, what the shit? See, I told you he's an asshole. Sometimes he just bit me out of no good reason. I don't know what you're complaining about, my boy. I see wet food, I see dry food, I see water. Yeah, I know. Monsieur Fats. He'll also go. He'll also. No, Fats is just. Slow down, cops. Jeez. Hello. Whoa. Hello. Thank you so much, Kronos. You rock, dude. You know, but yeah, I do my best with these guys. But yeah, at the moment there are many much cats in my apartment between my own personal cats and the and my fosters who are waiting for adoptions. So the situation with most of the socialized cats that I take care of on the street, like Fats, like Fats. Well, even if I was an atheist, what was that? Christ loves you or some shit? Yeah, Christ is Lord. Jew. So. So, like, Christ was never Lord for me, even when I believed in that sort of shit. Whatever, we'll keep it pushing. Like I said, religion is an intensely personal thing. Whatever gets you through the night, God bless it. Or invisible spaghetti monster bless it. I really don't care. Whee! There's the Fats, whee! Y'all saw the Fats, whee! Whee! Meow! Oh, wow. Alright, here's the situation, dude. Meow! No, meow yourself. See, here's the question, and I'm willing to chance this just for you fine folks. If I walk away, are you going to do the attack, Fats? Good boy, Fats. Thank you for not following me. And every now and then when he's annoyed at me, whee! Every now and then when the dude's annoyed at me, he'll like follow me and just attack my lower leg, just and then he'll hiss at me. Mr. Fats. Meow! I don't know, Can I sleep in a storage container? I'm sure I could, but why would I want to? I have an apartment and I can consistently make rent. Fats. All right, dude. Hey. Hey, my boy. Bonk. Hey, ow. Your teeth are really sharp and your bite strength is very hot. Bonk. Okay, dude. I'm gonna hit the road, alright? You have a good one. I love you, Fats. Bye-bye. Beep, beep. Thank you so much, Kronos. You're pretty cool too, if I do say so myself. Do say is the shit, if I do say so myself also. All right, bye, Fats. All right, let's go check in on the main colony real quick. All right, no fires. Shoot, I love a revelation. Not so hot on the book of Revelations, if I'm honest with you, but like, hello, Artorias 7QT. Yeah, Marilee, for whatever reason, the two big cow cats or tuxies or whatever you want to call them, Charlie and Fats are two of the most social, friendly, outgoing cats at this colony. It's crazy. Varoom! Lemon juice. Okay, actually, you're onto something right there. I love Rome because lemon juice is an underrated flavoring ingredient because it adds a lot of tartness to things and it helps balance out, you know, the acid-base balance and stuff. But yeah, and you can also add some sugar to lemon juice if you're worried about it getting too sour. But yeah, like, you know, I mean, keep in mind, people all over the world are like addicted to lemon pepper because they just, yeah. And also, folks, I'll also add this. If you really enjoy pickles, make your own. It's really, really, really easy in reality. All you need to do is make a brine solution, which is basically you just take equal parts vinegar and water and add salt and sugar to it, and then bring it up to a heat. And then bring it up to a quick boil, turn it up, and then add your spices. So you want to add salt, you want to add sugar, and any other spices or seasoning you might want to add. So mustard seed, dill seed, no, so you do the salt, not so much. You do the salt for the salt balance. And because otherwise it won't brine. You're doing a cure basically. Yeah, you don't boil the pickles yourself. You boil the brine just to get it to come up and homogenize. But then once you make your brine, you let that cool down. You get your cucumbers, you stick them in like a mason jar or something like that, throw your brine in on top of it, screw down the mason jar, throw them in the fridge for about a week or so, and come back, done, pickles. Well, like, yeah, that's Chef David's instructions on how to make mid-level pickle. Is that you, John Wayne? Is this me? They're all gone. But yeah, Tatiana's still here. But yeah, like I said, if you enjoy pickles and are thinking about it, it's really one of the easiest culinary curing and pickling things that you can do. But yeah, if y'all have never made your own pickles, do it. It's so easy. It's really so easy. Like, I gave y'all the basic steps, but really you can go on pretty much any like eHow or WikiHow or whatever and like look up how to make like the finer steps, and like they'll probably give you like recipes or whatever. But in reality, I don't think there's a rule to making pickles as long as in the end you get a pickled cucumber or a pickled jalapeno or a pickled whatever you're trying to pickle. You know, so you can choose. You know, the only rule is that it has to taste good at the end, because otherwise there are no rules to pickling, in my opinion. You know, so as long as you can make a brine, which is, like I said, it's not that hard. It's vinegar, water, salt, and sugar. That's the basic ingredients to a brine. You know, everything else is ancillary. So you know, you can add stuff, you can not add stuff, you can make up your own like concoction. You can buy one of those pre-made pickling spice mix things, which is, you know, it's completely up to you. One thing I like to add to my pickling mix when I make pickles, I haven't made pickles in a really long time, if I'm honest, but I really like to add fennel seeds to the pickle mix. It gives a nice little like a sweet anise flavor to the pickles that I personally enjoy. If you don't mess with fennel or anise flavor, avoid. But I do like that licorice fennel anise seed flavor. So yeah, that's kind of my secret thing. I also like adding chili flake or chili pepper to add a little heat to it. You know. But like I said, there's no rules to pickling really, other than make a pickle. You know, like make a brine that brines. That's the only rule. Make a brine that brine and make a pickle. But you know, but if you don't have a brine, you'll never make a pickle. So like that's not even a rule. That's just like an instruction. Like to make pickles, you need a brine. All right. Oh, yeah. So Rome, Elijah is the moderator that's here the most, but I believe I have 4 or 5 different moderators. We've got Elijah and Pocket Woman representing the Australian clique, and then we've got Delbert, who's on the West Coast like me, and then we've also got Zoe the cat, who's he's more like Middle America, one of the Midwest states. So yeah, so I think we've got, but yeah. But right now Elijah's the only mod in the chat, and I mean, because I'm also the creator, I can also do mods based things, because like I'm the Uber mod, as it were, because I can literally decide who is a mod and who's not a mod. I think Elijah might have the ability to do that too, but I'm not sure if he does or doesn't. But yeah, like, yeah, but like, whoa, cops are over there. All right, okay, rubbernecking time. Maybe we'll stop by. If the homeless dude's left, maybe we'll see if Charlie's there. He's not, but yeah, thanks so much for stopping by. I love Rome. Appreciate you, man. But yeah, it's you know, I don't like. Don't get me wrong. You know, any YouTuber needs moderation if he's gonna do live, because I can't keep, like, I'm not always, you know, behind the camera. I'm often in front of the camera, so I can't always keep up with the losers and the haters. I miss Charlie too, Mel and I. I swung by the colony earlier, and there was a homeless dude sleeping outside the building where Charlie is. And if he's still there, we're gonna leave him alone. So Yeah, Marilee, basically what Elijah said is correct as a whole. They don't necessarily expire on the date printed, but they definitely do expire. So like, you want to try and use them, and you don't want to, you don't want to, you don't want to buy more eggs than you think you're going to be able to get through. I'd say date of expiry plus 2-3 days maybe. Like if you can't get through a pack of eggs in that span of time, then you're buying too many eggs. Charlie! Ow! Yeah, no cats here tonight, unfortunately. Another cop? Are you shitting me? We'll wait here for them to go by. Man, some crazy stuff might be going on. Woo! Oh damn, this dude's pedal to the frickin' metal in his police interceptor. Look at him go! Damn! Some crazy shit must be going on. Ow! Charlie! Hello, Charlie. Oui, oui, baguette. Haha. Ow! Yeah. They're always there when you don't need them, and they're never there when you frickin' need them. Am I right, Elijah? Run, Forrest, run! That is certainly a possibility, Marilee, though I tend to doubt it, because if it's a medical emergency, they'll usually have an ambulance. This is probably some sort of police thing. If I still had the Citizen app, I'd pull it up, but I don't have the Citizen app because how paranoid do you need to be in day-to-day life? But yeah, my experience with the LAPD, let me be charitable and say it's a mixed bag. You know, but this is nothing new. No, I'm pretty sure I'd make it. First off, I don't celebrate Christmas, Bruce Wayne. Second off, isn't your screen name literally named after a man who took to vigilantism because the cops in his city were so useless? So I think you're arguing from the glassest of glass cases. But yeah, I mean, look, if you're talking about half of us, if you're a minority skin color, you are never going, I need the cops. You're going, gee whiz, I hope the cops don't kill me, because why would I be through martial law? I mean, look, I live in Los Angeles. I mean, I had stupid ass Trump bring the stupid ass National Guard for no stupid reason, but you know what? That was dumb. That was a waste of time. Nah, there's no. See, I'm sure. Look, I'm sure there's instances where the cops are helpful. I'm simply stating that the LAPD are not that, and more often than not, they're a hindrance to our city than they are a help. That's in 30 plus years of living in this city. they're friggin' useless. Like, they don't keep the most of the people safe. You know, they're really good at pulling over people for speeding and stuff like that, but they're terrible at solving actual crime, you know? And not to mention, the biggest crime within Los Angeles is that the city council is famously corrupt. Like, here's the thing, I'm not in Somalia, you know, and in Somalia, and you know, that's a failed government. That's, you know, it's an irrelevant argument. Yeah, I've been to Mexico many times. Let me tell you something. They have no shortage of police in Mexico. They're just all corrupt. That's a difference, you know? Are you trying to, Bruce Wayne, are you trying to, like, say that I have no lived experience? Because, like, here's the thing. I've got more than enough lived experience, yeah, you know, with my own city. And I can tell you that the police forces in my city are not worth what we're paying them. Because the LAPD budget, and I looked this up, is $12.3 billion a year. Do you know how much good we could do for our city if we stopped paying that much money? Do you know how much education, you know, because here's the thing. The number one cause of criminality and social strife is poverty. And instead of paying that much money for a police force that doesn't serve the people, why don't you pay more money for education, for affordable housing, for food stamps and stuff like that to give people a way out of poverty and, by extension, criminality? Because everyone's like, oh, would you rather have gangs and stuff like that? The original gangs are the cops. Like, if you read the history of the Bloods and Crips in America, which, by the way, both came from Los Angeles, they were literally formed initially because... No, I won't be robbed this week because cops are... But for the record, when I did have issues, I called the cops. And they didn't do shit for me. So yeah, I won't be robbed. And if I do get robbed, womp womp. Like, I don't know why you want me to get robbed. Without cops, strife wouldn't go away. But if you increased education, if you increased assistance for the poor, then... No, but you're asking extremely leading and dishonest questions. So I have no need to engage with you honestly. Like, you're just here to troll, basically. That's a really dumb question. That's a really dumb question. You know full... Yeah, like, you know full well that funding for schools is being taken away, especially public schools that are not charters. You know, you know full well that the schools in historically white neighborhoods always get more funding than schools in historically inner city neighborhoods. There is history of this, there's documentation of this, and this is epidemic to the United States. And it's part of the reason... You know, it's part of the reason we have such an issue with criminality, is that when people have no hope, they turn to criminality. Like I said before I got interrupted by his dumbass, who's now blocked. Thank you, Elijah. But, you know, I don't like the police. I agree with both Elijah and NWA when I say fuck the police. But I also... And here's the other thing. I am of a winning skin complexion, when it comes to the police, because I'll usually get away with a warning. You know, whereas for many of the things that I've been let away with a warning for, my friends who are of color have been ticketed at best and sometimes much worse. So, you know, but here's the thing, as I was saying before I got distracted, the Bloods and the Crips were formed within the city of Los Angeles, literally as a protection of African-American neighborhoods against persecution by the cops. Because guess what? The concept of police, especially within America, comes from the slave patrols of antebellum South. You know, and that's why, and I quote Rage Against the Machine on this one, some of those that work forces are the same that burn crosses. It was true then, it's true now, it'll be true forever. The history of policing is inherent to keeping people down, especially when we talk about police in America. Now, we can also talk about the history of sheriffs and like the whole idea of a posse, you know, the historical idea of sheriffs within the UK. And stuff, you know, the fairy tales of the Sheriff of Nottingham from Robin Hood. Like, clearly, law enforcement is a part of our history, but the law enforcement within the United States, and specifically within the city that I live in, is not here for the people. You know, and need I remind you that when many children were getting shot and killed in Uvalde, Texas, where were the police? Did they save the children who were in danger, who had called the police for help? No. Do the police, has the Constitution and have the courts of the United States repeatedly said that despite the fact that the police have to protect and serve on their cars, they do not have to enter if they feel scared or if they feel that the situation is beyond saving or anything like that? So, no. And yeah, merrily, like I said, the people who keep the police department funded are the city council, are the mayors. You know, the whole system is corrupt, and that's unfortunate. But and I mean, look, we had. Oh my God, an October 7th comment. Oh, Jesus Christ. But when push comes to shove, the people in control have a knack for twisting things and making us fight each other instead of fighting them. Excuse me. Y'all, you gotta see what I just kicked accidentally. What the shit? Hold on. Yeah. Yo, I kicked a Pookie. Do you get held at gunpoint and not call... That's a dumbass question. If I'm at gunpoint, the last thing I'm going to do is pull out my phone and dial 911. I'm at gunpoint. Please don't kill me. Hello, police? Poof, game over. Deduct one life, stupid ass. You want voice bass? Here you go, my guy. Do you think bass makes a man? I guarantee you it doesn't. Here, Pookie. Damn, that Pookie's built like a fucking brick shithouse. No, I kicked a Pookie. I was walking around and I found a Pookie on the floor and I accidentally kicked it, and that's how I found it. And I decided instead of just discarding it normally, I would throw it as hard as I can onto the streets because I'm an idiot like that. Pookie? Oh, meth pipe. Meth pipe or crack pipe. Bass boosted makes men. Nah, only if you prescribe to like the Andrew Tate, Jordan Peterson school of what a man is. And to be honest with you, I would never be that kind of man, and I have no desire to be that kind of man. But yeah. Let me tell you all a story. Not with this car, but my previous car. Where am I at? I'm in Los Angeles, California. It's late at night. And the homeless people got the fire lit again. I can smell newspaper burning. All right, not this car, but my previous car. Blockchain Bandit. Blockchain Bandit, we were feeding homeless cats, and now we're just shooting the shit, and I'm going to call it a night. But to answer some previous question about, hey, when's the last time you called the cops and they didn't help you? Okay, how about this? Not this car, but my last car. I was coming home from work one night, and I turned onto the block, onto my block, and a homeless dude was jaywalking in front of me, pretty much here, relative to my car. Now, I turned onto the street, and I see this person, and because my reflexes don't suck ass, I hit the brakes full hard and came to a full stop before hitting him. Yay me. So what does this fucking tweaker meth head piece of shit do? Launches himself onto my fucking hood, and with meth strength, boom! Right on my windshield, cracking my glass completely, just shattered my glass into a million people. Then came alongside my car and started screaming, "You're harassing me! You're assaulting me!" I'm like, bro, who the fuck just broke whose window? So, Blockchain Bandit, I don't live out of my car, but I can tell you, I have a lovely apartment, but I can guarantee you one thing. I've seen people live in cars much smaller than an Acura. I've seen people living out of a frickin' Fiesta or some shit. It's crazy. Yeah, 29 Palms is a place. But yeah, dude came up to me, and unfortunately I didn't have pepper spray at the time, so I couldn't empty the entire can of pepper spray in bitch's eyes. But yeah, I went, called the cops, because what do you do when some crazy tweaker smashes your windshield? You call the cops, right? They didn't do shit for me. You know? Or how about this? Hold on. I'm not done yet. You see this? You see this little rusty BB spot? How about this? This is a plastic piece, so it's not rusty. But you see this? You want to know how this happened? Some asshole was behind me road raging on the freeway. If you think it's because of Democrats and Republicans, you're as stupid as the Democrats and Republicans. Put it that way. You're a dumbass. It's two sides of the same fucking bullshit coin. You see, vigilantism is a very cute thing, but it will get you nowhere other than shot in the long run. But yeah, would you like to know how this happened? And how this happened? And how this particular pane of glass is made by a company called Fuyo, despite the fact that every other pane of glass on this car is original from 2003. Would you like to know how that happened? Because some dickhead road rager got upset at me for some reason and decided, shoot, second shot, BB gun, like I said, second shot, broke my fucking window, and third shot right here. I got the car make and model, I got the plate number, I followed the dude for as long as I can, and I called the cops. Did anything happen about that? No! Not a goddamn thing! It might have been a 22 Lucid Kingdom. I'm not going to lie. At freeway speed, I don't think a 22 long rifle has a whole lot of penetrating power. I'm not crying about it. I don't mind. The shit happens. Nah, mommy ain't buying me shit. I had to pay for it, my boy. But the point is, violence happened to me twice. Did the cops do anything? No. So you know what? Unless I'm like on the verge of death, where the cops might actually do something, potentially. If some small issue like that happens, I'm not calling the cops because they don't help. They don't do shit. They're like, oh, you can fill out a police report. What's the police report gonna do? You ain't gonna follow up. You know, which brings me back to the initial point. Why do we pay them so much? You know, what are we missing? What societal ills are we not fixing by paying the LAPD so much on an annual basis to not keep us safe? You know, and here's the thing. Police reports might be required for insurance claims, but okay. And also, I just fact checked myself. I did previously state that the LAPD budget was $12 billion, and something about saying that, I was like, that's wrong. So I did check, and it's obviously not $12 billion, but I will say this. The LAPD annual budget is $1.9 billion at last check, according to Wikipedia. $2 billion to an agency that does not keep us safe, that intimidates the people of Los Angeles when they're protesting peacefully. That $2 billion that could go to the LA school districts, that could go to public housing, that could go to fixing our shitty-ass potholey roads. No. Police state. Am I homeless? No. Commie, yes. Hey, it might be commie, but here's the thing: you're so damn brainwashed by that MAGA turd bullshit. You're trying to support a totalitarian dictatorship in Russia while screaming commie. Like, the fuck kind of logic is that? You know? No, Nathan, that's a really dumbass argument, I'd say. I'm simply stating that they haven't helped me, but they don't, and I'm giving, personal examples of times the cops have been unhelpful to me, but I can also say, that, oops, sorry, ADHD. I can also say that my experiences are the good side because, like I said, I'm white. For people of color, their experiences are much, much, much more negative. There's no such thing as a concept of DWW. There's no driving while white. So that's what I'm saying. MKJC81. I don't know, Nathan. What does you being white have to do with being a bitch? Like, for real. Like maximum projection. Like, Well, 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 John, I will say one thing. Whiteness is a construct. Whiteness is a construct made up by rich people to keep the poor whites on side. You know, because like you said, we used to discriminate against the Jews, the Irish, the Italians, the Greeks, the Slavs, because they were a lower flavor of white. You know, it wasn't until people of color started coming in that the rich folks who are all white tried to get the poor whites on their side. You know, because as long as there's a race war, there is no class war. We're not eating the rich as we should be. We're not putting Peter Thiel in a Luigi Mangione situation, which we should do. I like white people too. I am a white people. But here's the thing. I also realize that there's an inherent advantage given to me by my whiteness. And yes, I am a Jew, but Romano isn't a white name. You are very correct. It's an Italian last name, despite the fact that I'm not Italian. It's weird. You see? They can be both, Marilee. And Marilee, I just want to say one thing. When I speak about Trump supporters, I'm not speaking about you specifically, although if you do take it personally, consider, like, I'm speaking very generally about that. And I do, I do have to speak my mind on my channel when I say that I do feel like that's a cult. Like, the people, like, and here's the thing, the reason I don't, like, when a lot of people in the chat would be like, oh, it's MAGA, don't talk with them. No. You have to talk with these people because they are people. And we should treat all people as inherent good. But no. I'm not trying to I'm definitely not trying to sugarcoat. What the shit? It's not a yarmulke, Kenny Powers. It's from Morocco, actually. But good joke. Haha. Very funny. It's a Berber beanie. Marble Cat! What are you doing? Marble Cat! Shit. Look at it. Look how dangerous this is. Marble Cat! Thank you. You stay over there, dude. Yeah, I don't see the $2,000 stimulus check coming anytime soon. But yeah, but here's the thing. I genuinely think, as a Jew, as a member of, as a tangential member of Alphabet Gang, as, a person who cares for people, even if they're not like me, I could never buy into MAGA because to me, it's an inherently hateful, movement. It's nativist, it's xenophobic, it's homophobic, transphobic, basically, if there's a phobic, it's probably that. It's probably anti-Zigonist as well. The fuck's a... Yeah, I wouldn't hold your breath, Al. It's not gonna happen. Well, I'm not going to give the 2K to anybody because the 2K is not coming. It's never coming. When it comes, though, I will not be depositing it. I guarantee you that. Although maybe I should, because you know what? It's my tax money anyways. I paid that money to the government. They're not giving me the services I want for it. So yeah. You know? And I mean, he didn't give you a stimulus. You got a stimulus for COVID. Be proud of your heritage, and no offense, I'll quote to you Proverbs on this one. Pride goeth before a fall. You know? Yeah, it was literally an economic. Yep. And here's the thing, Marilee, I don't like when I say Obama was better than Trump, I mean that he was a slightly more polished piece of shit. Like, and you know, that's all great and good. But you know what was crazy to me, which is why I think Trump is truly an anathema, is that, well, I mean, if y'all voted for Trump, you don't want government handouts, so you should probably give the $2,000 back and pull yourself up by your own damn bootstraps like you're always talking about. Am I right? It's okay, MKJC. I have ADHD. I wouldn't be able to finish a thought whether I was awake, tired, sleepy. I'm all over the place. Yeah, Dadrick, you dumbass. The Jews wrote Proverbs. It's, you stupid motherfucker. It's literally in the Old Testament. But yeah, I don't need that 2,000 that bad. But if it comes, like I said, I paid for it it's my tax. It's just my tax money coming back to me. But yeah, like I said, if y'all. Yeah, I mean, look, whatever you want with it, you know, that 2K is money that you paid to the government in taxes for services. You know, they didn't give you those services, so they might as well give you the money back. But yeah, like I said, if you voted for Trump and you truly believe in this pull yourself up by your own bootstraps, no welfare state, then you should probably return the check instead of telling me to return the check. I believe in the concept of a welfare state. Is this P? Hey, P. Me too, MKJC. To be honest with you, I'm waiting for the huge meteorite to strike this world because, I mean, I am starting to feel more and more like humans are just another failed evolution. But, you know, we're a bunch of disparate war tribes fighting each other. But, like, by the same token, I refuse to give up hope. Like, that's, yeah, exactly, Mel and I refuse to give up hope. Like, here's the thing, and here's the thing that, like, I'll wrap up this stream because we've been going for 100 minutes, and like MKJC is saying, I do need to go to sleep, and I need to visit my parents' cat before I go to sleep. But here's the thing. I think I don't think they're cousins, Marilee, but, like, here's the thing, and this is what I always say, is that at that upper level, they're all in cahoots with each other. Like you said, Obama and the Bushes are two sides of the same coin. Voting in America in general is flipping a two-headed coin and expecting something different. Like everyone, we've been conditioned to to hate each other for our political views or our differences in race, in sexual orientation, in skin color, and blah 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 blah. But like, I'm not speaking about relation. Like, I mean, look, the state of California is like a big mob thing. Like, there's like, there's a bunch of power brokers, but that's also within the United States. There's always been power brokers. But I think the thing that's important to point out, Marilee, is that Trump isn't as much of an outlier as you think he is. He's a Nepo baby, just like those people. He was born into money. He's wasted an awful lot of it because he's a terrible businessman. He runs in the same upper class New York swamp that people like Chuck Schumer would be running in. It's just, he claims to be a populist, but he's not. Like many people would say, he's a poor man's idea of a rich man, a coward's idea of a brave man, and an idiot's idea of a smart man. But he's very good at brainwashing people and very good at convincing people that he's on your side when his words say, I'm on your side. His actions say, fuck you, you don't matter, you're poor, you suck. But yeah. But beyond all that, and like I said, I mean, look, I thought Obama was a better president than Trump because he could speak in full sentences and he had a certain gravitas to him, but like, he killed thousands of people in drone strikes. I can't co-sign that. He bailed out the banks instead of bailing out the people of America. I can't co-sign that. There was a lot of things done by Obama that were bullshit. No, I mean, Cap, it's not a question of getting to me because it's already got me. It's already got all of us, we're all part of this bullshit system and we're all cogs in it. But what I can say for myself and what I like about this community that I'm slowly but surely building is that and that's the thing, like when I can't remember who it was, but someone was getting on Marilee for being MAGA, and I said, no, even if she is MAGA, which I don't know, up to you, I don't care. We can't treat all the people of MAGA as a lost cause, as bad people just because they want that. My firm belief is that we're more similar than we are different. And the thing is that we've all been brainwashed to be like, to hate the other. So, my dad's Israeli. He's been brainwashed to hate Palestinians in a way that is really messed up. A lot of people in that community are trained to hate Israelis when most of the Israelis don't really give a shit. Republicans are commissioned to hate Democrats. Democrats are conditioned to hate Republicans. Whites are conditioned to hate blacks. Blacks are conditioned to hate whites. It's learned hatred, and it's all done by the rich. All of it. Because here's the thing. I am much more similar to a working class African American than I am to Jeffrey Epstein, a uber rich pedophile Jew. But because I'm Jewish, people are going to be like, Epstein. Be like, no, bro. Nah, that's not me. That will never be me. I'm not in that social class. I'm not in that hierarchy. But that hierarchy knows that as long as we're fighting with each other, we're not going to kill them. That, like, think about how much people on both sides of the political. No, but you can't become rich. The system is inherently against you. But like that's what I'm getting. That's what I'm getting at, Marilee, is that is that the ruling class, whether they're blue team or red team, has found ways through the news and through through corporations like that, through rich power brokers like Peter Thiel. Well, Pusherman, I don't really welcome the robot overlords, because if it's gonna take away jobs from human beings, that's gonna lead to an increase of poverty for the normal peeps, while the rich folks take their profit margins to the banks. So yeah, we got to do something about those clankers. You know, we can maybe start by, like, sicking Luigi Mangione on Peter Thiel. Like, I'm not being serious if the cops are watching, but I'm also not fully joking. That man is a cancer, and I do honestly feel like if we got rid of some of these rich techno fucks, the world would be a better place. So, yeah, Thiel, Zuckerberg, fucking Muskrat, all of these people, without them, the world would be a better place. Well, I'm not a psycho, but I am strenuously advocating eating the rich. So take from that what you will. Anyways, this stream about feeding kitty cats has gone way off the rails. I hope y'all enjoyed my political discourse, and if you didn't, see if I give a shit. What do I contribute to the world? I rescue homeless cats. What do you contribute to? No, fuck Andrew Tate. That dude's a fucking cuck. He literally got taken down by Greta and a pizza box. Loser. Fucking beta cuck simp piece of shit. But yes, Duxie Noob is correct. The PayPal mafia needs to go, along with Bezos. So someone needs to round up all those rich fucks and put them in Jeff Bezos' little penis-shaped rocket and take away the heat shield so that when they try to re-enter, exactly, Millie Mills, it's the higher-ups. No. That's a really dumb thing to say. I rescue stray cats. That's what I do. I also am fully employed and have a job. How is that possible? It's very easy. You tax the rich. Okay? There is a greater divide between rich and poor. Like, there's this bullshit. Like, I'm telling you right now, you are being lied to when they say that you can pull yourself up by your bootstraps. It's bullshit. Also, Elijah is not wrong about that one. It was never great to begin with. You know, you got to reinstate capital gains tax. You got to tax people on any earnings over a certain amount of money. That way the rich fucks don't get to walk to the bank. There is a greater divide between rich and poor. See, that's the thing. You know, everyone thinks, you know, the red team has successfully convinced you that taxing the rich is tantamount to taxing you because you'll one day be rich. It's not going to happen. Sorry. Unless you're... look. And I quote the Notorious B.I.G. The streets is a short stop. Either you're slinging crack rock or you got a wicked jump shot. There's very few avenues to actual wealth. You know, I'm telling you that the rich fucks, regardless of whether they're red team or blue team, are selling you a bill of spoiled goods. You know? Well, I mean, if they're going to avoid paying it, then you have to start. Then you have to start you have to start doing penalties for that. You have to start closing the loopholes. Like, you have to start, I mean, you know what a great start is? Speaking of, you know what, it's way more realistic. How, but you know what a great, you know what a great start to this whole thing? You know, you know who, who owns everything? I'm trying to. No, Paul Townley. This is where I disagree with you. I don't think Blue Team is going to help us. Because, you know. Yep, Patrick Johnson. They're the same damn thing. But like I said, they're playing us against each other. It's because I have ADHD, logic, so I try to keep up with the chat and to finish my thoughts, but I can't always do both at the same time. So, wah wah. Okay, let's yeah, exactly. Like what Captain K said is what I'm getting at. There's a bunch of elites on both sides of the aisle, and then there's us, and they've successfully got us fighting against each other, including in this chat. And 13 Eder 892. It's because I really don't care. And also, which loopholes I'm talking about. We're talking about hiding money in tax shelter states like Panama. We're talking about how the One Big Beautiful Bill Act is raising our budget deficit by millions upon millions of dollars because they're adding tax breaks for the rich instead of I don't know, getting healthcare and education for the poor. But for the record, in case anybody was curious on my thoughts on Charlie Kirk, he shouldn't have died because that was a murder, and murder is bad, full stop. But Marilee, I've read the bill. I've seen what the bill does. The bill is a bullshit bill. That's why even Republicans were defecting. It's a bad bill. Like, there's no way that that's a good bill. You see, and here's the thing. But like, but Marilee, it's not the point about whether Democrats or Republicans voted for it. It's the bill was bad for the people of America who were not that top strata. The bill was bad for people like me. It was bad for people like you. It was good for those rich fuck Democrats. It's good. The Build Back Better bill is great for Nancy Pelosi. She's going to be taking W's to the bank. No, that's not an opinion. If the budget deficit of our country is going through the roof, this is a Republican talking point that we need to be fiscally responsible with our budget. The big beautiful bill is not fiscally responsible at all. Like, I'm literally using Republican talking points right now. You know, you have to be fiscally responsible with your budget. Like my argument would be, you shouldn't be so fiscally, like, the budget exists, that's our tax dollars, we should spend it on us, you know, like giving universal health care to the entire nation. Charlie Kirk's not going to haunt me. I'm smoking on Charlie Pack all year. Rip Bozo. You know, and here's the other thing. It's that, you know, we call this isn't head in the clouds stuff. I know we think it might be head in the clouds. It's not. It's not. You know, the money is there. We've paid the money. You know, that's why that's why the American military, already the most funded military in the world, is getting 150. I can't remember whether it was million or billion, but it's a shit ton of money increase in its budget, despite the fact that the Department of Education, the Department of Health, the Department of Labor, you know, like, and for the record, for the MAGA crowd, how do you make America great again? You make America great for every single American and person in the country of America. So you give them universal access to healthcare. You give them universal access to a roof over their head. And you get rid of the FBI. Fuck the FBI. But yeah, just to wrap up with the last thing on Charlie Kirk. Actually, Daniel Bosco, I don't have all the answers. In fact, I'm missing most of the answers, but I'm willing to give y'all my opinion, and I'm willing to listen to y'all, unless y'all be stupid. You know, like I said, but yeah, just to be super crystal clear on my thoughts on Charlie Kirk, and then anytime Charlie Kirk is brought up, I'm going to be like, nah, I've already covered it. I'll get to the illegals in a second if that's what you want to call them. Marble cat! Ow! 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 Come on, Marble cat! Come on, Marble cat! Ow! Psst, psst, psst. Kitty! He's so nervous. I hate this. I hate how nervous he's becoming. Okay, let's get this Charlie bullshit out the way, all right? All right, here's the Charlie bullshit, and we're not going to talk about this ever again. I'm so done with this dead dude. I'm really. All right, for everybody in the chat, regardless of your political opinion, regardless of whether you're red team, blue team, or pink team, Charlie Kirk shouldn't have died. He was murdered, and that's fucked up. All right? And like many of y'all have said, now his wife needs to live as a widow, and his son needs to grow up as without a father. And that's a shame. That shouldn't have happened. But here's the thing. When your rhetoric is hateful, when you do things that many people would think make you a bad person, sometimes bad things happen to bad people. It shouldn't happen, but sometimes that's just the way it works. Well, I'm on the West Coast, so it's actually only 1:23. But that being said, I really do need to wrap this shit up. But like I said, his death was a tragedy. He shouldn't have died. But here's an idea. His wife, who just lost her husband, she could step away from the politics. You know, which... No, he wasn't a dictator. He was a propagandist, you know? I'm not saying, like, here, let me put you in a... Hello, Disrobing Kitty. Hi, Sylvana's daughter. Tell her, wish her my best. I hope she's well. No, well, I mean... Yeah, I mean, I don't think Charlie said a lot of facts. He said a lot of... he was a propagandist. I don't know if my facts are facts, but I'll tell you one thing. I do try to fact check myself regularly. There's literally an instance where I said something that was factually untruthful, and I thought that's probably untruthful, and I literally went to Wikipedia midstream and fact checked myself, and then said, sorry, I was wrong. So, while I don't exclusively speak facts, you best believe that I care about truthfulness. All right, but let's move away from the whole politics. But like I said, the Charlie Kirk thing, he shouldn't have died. He shouldn't have died. He's not and he's certainly not a dictator, and I would never say he's a dictator, you know? But let's put it to you this way. If we're going to go with the hardcore lefty opinion that Trump is a Nazi and a fascist, then if Trump is the Hitler, then Charlie Kirk was the Goebbels figure. In this. And, you know, yeah, I agree with you. Nobody should die over opinions, but you know who else died over opinions? A bunch of other people. Martin Luther King died for his opinions. Malcolm X died for his opinions. Fucking... Let me see, who else? You know, the difference is... The one difference I'd say is that Charlie Kirk's opinions were fostering of hate. And sometimes when you foster hate, you get hate back in return. Now, I don't think that that's correct. Like I said, it's wrong. But, yeah, Chalino Sanchez. That was a good one, ICE Public Relations. All right. We'll do one last thing, and then we'll move on. JFK. Anyway, sorry, I was catching up with chat, but here's the... But yeah, nobody should die for their opinion, but I think the problem is that some members of MAGA are treating Charlie's assassination like it was the first political tragedy to happen in America, and it just so wasn't. It might have been the first political tragedy to happen to MAGA, but it was far from the first tragedy to happen to in America. But one last thing for Mr. Ice lurking in the chat. Can you please do like chat, you're losing me right now. I have no idea what's going on, but thank you, Elijah. Yeah, no, they really are treating it like that. If you look at it, But here's the thing. Regardless of whether they're treating it like that or not, the point stands. It's not the first tragedy to happen in America where a political figure, a person who was an influencer of political stuff. No, Roland McNutt, objectively, he was not doing God's work because because Jesus clothed the poor and fed the homeless, and Kirk wouldn't have done fucking shit about that. Jesus would have let immigrants in instead of deporting them and separating them from their children. Let me tell you something. I might be an atheist. Yep. That's the other thing. When you talk with a bunch of dumb college students, you look like a freaking idiot. Or sorry, when you talk with a bunch of dumb college students, you look like a genius. That's why Charlie Kirk never engaged in actual intelligent discussion with people who were just as smart as he was. No, look, you can say debating or arguing, it doesn't matter. It was the point is that he was arguing with people who did not have fully formed opinions at all. He would, if you put Charlie Kirk in a debate ring with somebody who actually knows what they're doing, somebody of equal intelligence and study to Charlie would have gotten dog walked. It happens so frequently to it's the same thing as, like I said, Paul, it doesn't matter. He was having a dishonest debate because he was talking with people who were, he was essentially a heavyweight going into the featherweight class and going like this. And I mean, don't get me started with Turning Point. I think that they're a it is all a grift. It is all a grift. Here's the thing. I think the people telling me to go to sleep are probably right at this point. Have I ever read the Bible? No, he was definitely a Christian nationalist. He definitely argued, he might not have said I'm racist. He's not a Klan member, but the policies he argued for were inherently prejudicial. They inherently disadvantaged people of color. They inherently disadvantaged the alphabet gang. They inherently disadvantaged trans people who wanted to just be people. countries countries do need borders, but here's the but and that's why they have borders. But here's the thing. You need to have you know, I'm not saying, I'm not arguing for completely open borders. And I do think that there needs to be a process to become a citizen. What I'm saying is that this process needs to be simple for everyone. And there needs to be, it needs to be proportional to realize that most of the people come, you know, look, let me put it to you this way. One of the cat feeders at this colony, it's because of my ADHD, I'm sorry. It's also freaking almost 2 in the morning. It's, like I said, I'm wrapping this shit up. At least I'm trying to. Yeah, negative shock is probably right. I've never picked up the pipe, but... Ow! I've never actually picked up the pipe, but I really do need to go to sleep. I need to check in on my parents' cat and call it a night. So let me wrap it up with this and move away from politics now and forever. The overall point, we can bullshit in the chat, you know, as much as you want. It's cool with that. I'm cool with that. Like, here's the thing. I do believe in moderation, but I don't think that, you know, I don't think that we should be silencing people just for having a different political opinion than us, even if we think that political opinion is hateful. You know, I'd like to point out that I live in the United States, where hate speech is protected by the First Amendment and is considered political speech. Now, while hate speech is not allowed in my chat, political speech that I might consider slightly hateful is allowed, because we need to be able to have these discussions and say in the end of it, okay, I might disagree with you, you might disagree with me, but in the end, I will defend to the death your right to disagree with me, as long as you do the same. Because, like I said, Flowback Jack, you know, this is a private. This is not. The First Amendment doesn't apply here. This is a private conversation. The First Amendment applies between you and the government and nothing else. You know, but the rule, you know, there's a couple rules in my chat that are, you know, that if you break them, you'll get your comment deleted and you'll get banned. There's no political sloganeering. There's no religious proselytizing or trying to convert people, and there's no hate speech. End of rules. Beyond that, have a good time. You know? So if you're engaging in hate, if you're one of those people who thinks you're really smart, who is going to type the N-word one letter at a time, you're going to get banned. If you're going to say, oh, this guy's a Jew, you're going to get banned. If you're making those comments that are inherently Jew comments, you're going to get banned. If you're transphobic, homophobic, xenophobic, any of the above, you're going to get banned. Sucks to suck. Like I said, this ain't, the First Amendment does not apply in my chat. You know, but that being said, yep, you see this fucking knucklehead? And Flowback Jack, if that comment got deleted, then I do apologize. That was an overreach by my mods, because I would not have deleted it. And as a matter of fact, like I said, if that comment did get deleted, I believe I read it and actually responded to it. But if the comment did get deleted, that was a slight overreach by my mods, and I do apologize for that one, because yeah, that's a dumbass comment, but okay, keep it pushing. You do. You do you. But yeah. And here's the thing. I don't necessarily support illegal immigration. I'm simply stating that the immigration laws in the United States are about as clear as mud, and they're just not fair to the people who want to come to our country. And that the immigrants are what makes this country strong, if you ask me. We are a nation of immigrants. The only people native to this country are the Native Americans, who we've put in little corners. Everybody else, myself included, either we're immigrants or we're the children of immigrants. So we need to provide pathways to citizenship, even for people who came here without documentation. We need to provide. So Dom CFB, yes, but no, because I do think that there's a certain amount of correctness in that statement. To quote Los Tigres del Norte, yo no cruza la frontera me cruzó. And for those of you who don't speak a second language, I didn't cross the border crossed me. But that being said, Mexicans are a mixed race people themselves. You've got your heavily native sangre de indio type people who are in general a little bit shorter, a little bit darker, and they truly are natives. The mestizo, who are the people who are mixed with Spaniard and indigenous blood, can claim nativism. Anybody who is a direct, and for the record, this often includes the ruling class of Mexico. Anybody who is the descendants of Spanish immigrants is not native. They're not. They could never be native. Their ancestors immigrated to Mexico as part of the Spanish Empire. And Patrick Johnson, you're free to disagree, but I mean, the simple fact of the matter is that we were all told, oh, the Pilgrims and the Indians ate together in Thanksgiving and blah, 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 blah. Whereas in reality, it should have been the Pilgrims and the Native Americans, and the Pilgrims gave the Native Americans a bunch of diseases that they didn't have antibodies for. But yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I'm talking way too much. Let me get in the fucking car. How's the night? Night's been good. I wasn't even planning to stream, and yet I've been going for over 2 hours. That shit crazy, yo. So like I said, Cowboy Baby Yoda, in general, I see Mexicans as 3 groups. You've got the natives, the people who are full-blooded, they're the descendants of the Nahuatl, the native Oaxacan people, like the Zapotecos and the Mixtecos and the what have you. Those are true indigenous people. But the mestizos, which is Mestizo is a Mexican Spanish term for somebody who's of mixed heritage of both Spaniard and native heritage. Yes, but I mean, and when that migration happened, there was no border. There was no borders. Cool. Good for you, King Toxic. Please be from the tribe of Negro Modelo because regular Modelo tastes like piss. Not gonna lie. Shoot. Oh, wow. I'm a dumbass. My freaking headlights weren't even turned on. Well, strictly speaking, it was just free land for nobody in particular. For an even longer period of time. But when you consider that Mexico came out of the Spanish Empire, I don't think it's necessarily correct to say, oh, it was only Mexico for 27 years. You know, that's like, you know, that's basically saying, oh, well then, you know, the I mean, point is, there's natives all over the place. I mean, look, I have my own issue because, you know, and this is something I don't want to get into because this is a can of worms we will not solve. Most can of worms we will not solve, but you know, but as I mentioned, my father is Israeli. I'm an Israeli citizen. Feels great. By the way, I'm also an American citizen, by the way. I'm a dual citizen. But it feels great to be an Israeli right now while they're genociding the Palestinians. But, and that's not sarcastic at all. But what really burns my ass is that you get a lot of the lefty campus liberal types, the same people that Charlie Kirk used to debate all the time, going, oh, well, Jews are not native to that particular part of the world, to Israel, Palestine. They're all colonials. I'm like, excuse me, talking out the side of your neck. My family actually is indigenous to that part of the world. Like I can go and get you photos from the early 1900s and late 1800s of my family living in Syria, in the Emirate of Jerusalem, which is what that part was called during the Ottoman times. You know, with like there are pictures. I have old pictures of my family wearing fezzes because that was the hat choice of the day. Like, so, you know. But at the same time, while my family historically is indigenous to that area, I also recognize that there is some validity to the Palestinian argument that a lot of the current Jews living in that area are Eastern European Jews, Russian Jews, Polish Jews who came in the aftermath of World War II. So, you know, so there's validity to both arguments. This is why the Israel-Palestine issue is a thing that'll never get solved ever, because because both sides are right and both sides are wrong. And as is the case in America, the politicians on both sides of that aisle are fucking shit up, as usual. Thanks, Bibi. Thanks, Abu Mazen. Okay. Wait, y'all asked for... They were there earlier. They were there earlier, Dom. There just wasn't pictures because the camera wasn't invented yet. Like, it's hard to have pictures when the camera hasn't been invented yet. And yes, for the record, literally my major in college was photography before I dropped out. So when I can tell you that the camera was not invented, like the very concept of the camera and the daguerreotype didn't start existing until basically the 1800s. And the modern camera, like with film, didn't happen until much, much later. Elijah, I need your help for this Epstein schmuck. Minoan Owen, that's a great name, by the way. I'm really bullshitting right now. I think I'm going to call the stream pretty soon because I have no idea what I'm talking about, to be honest with you, and I need to go to my parents' house to visit their cat because they're out of town right now having a good old time. So Julia, excuse me. Yeah, Elijah, it really has gone way off the rails. Yeah, I blame you. You were the one who first said F the police, and that got me started on that shit. It's all your fault. So, just kidding, by the way. So yeah, as far as I know, you're gonna have to check my history on this one. But the first ever photograph was taken. The first ever photograph was taken in the late 1700s. This predates even the daguerreotype. I'm struggling to remember the guy's name, but it was a. I still stand by your statement too. I think we might have scared away Rockstar Mal, which is unfortunate, but you know, whatever. But yeah, so to be fully, so as far as the historical. So right now we're actually talking about the development of the camera, which is a cool thing. It's not political or religious, so we can all geek. My opinion on Nick Fuentes, incel. He's 27 and still a virgin. Incel. Can we still hear me? By the way, I switched to my headphones because. But, so here's the thing. The concept of the camera predates photography, really, because the first cameras, as it were, was the concept of the camera obscura, which is basically when you take an entire room, you take an entire room and you blacken it out completely. You take away all the light within the room, and then in one surface of that room, you create a pinhole that will let light in, and then on the wall opposite the pinhole, the image of whatever's outside will be projected onto the wall upside down and backwards. And that's called the camera obscura, and you can actually make one yourself in your own bedroom if you want to. Just get some black plastic trash bags, put them on top of all the windows, and in the center of one bag, cut a small hole. And on the opposite wall, you'll see the image of whatever's outside your windows projected on the wall upside down and backwards. So that's the camera obscura. That's the first concept of the camera. The development of the camera from there went to the the basically what became the large format camera. (1826) was that that French dude who took that pic? I thought it was late. I thought it was earlier. I thought it was the late 1700s. But yeah, the 1800s were the majority of the development of the camera itself. That was when the development of the daguerreotype happened. The concept of wet, or the technology of plate photography, first wet plate, then dry plates, and dry plates eventually gave way to film. And can someone please Google for me the name of the French guy who took the first photo? Because I'll Google it when I get to a red light. But right now I'm doing some miles an hour. So yeah, he took the first photo. It was a picture out of his window, and it took hours upon hours to make the image. But that's the genesis of photography, where the image is actually permanent. What's up, Candyland? All right, sorry, let me see. Candyland, I can do two things at once. It's just I'm a little rusty on my history of photography. I have not taken a class in photography in over 10 years. But so my history's a little rusty, but like I said, it was my major in college before I dropped out. So there's a lot of knowledge up here that I'm kind of trying to get out, basically. It's the brain is a computer, and I'm trying to access something from a cache in an external hard drive right now that hasn't been accessed in a decade, and I'm going through Finder or whatever, and I'm where's the photography knowledge? And I'm it's lost underneath all the cats and the lock picking and the cooking and the weed smoking and all that. It's the knowledge is there somewhere, but since I was yeah, thank you so much, Candyland. I don't see it, but but I appreciate you. But yeah, but yeah, the crazy thing, Cowboy Baby Yoda, since I saw your thing about the first images being temporary, the funny thing is that the first photo technologies, like the heliotype that Niepce did, and the daguerreotype, and the cyanotype and stuff and the Van Dyke Brown, these are actually some of the most permanent and archival photographic methods that have ever existed. They are actually much more stable than both film and lossy digital files. Now, are they as permanent as a lossless digital file? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know, because that would depend on But if we're talking about a digital image, especially one captured without using RAW, so if we're talking a JPEG, every JPEG is a lossy file. Every time you open a JPEG, it's actually just deleting some of the information. That's why no professional photographer would ever use JPEG, because it's lossy. But yeah, as far as photographic permanence, the old methods were actually some of the best that ever existed. They're more, like I said, they're okay, sorry for my ADD for a second, but yo, this OBS Ford is nice. Look at that shit. Look at that. That is nice. Can we respect the beautiful paint job on this F-150, or if it's an F-250? Hold on. Oh, whoops, wrong one. I need to wash my windows. Oh, chef's kiss. I will say one thing, Jake E1 sub whatever, whatever the number sequence are. I do think that the name JPEG, like JAY space PEG, would be an exceptional like name for a punk band lead singer. Like it'd be such a I think it would be, I think like such a good name, like oh, what's up, we're JPEG and the Lossy Files, and we're here to fucking tear down this shit. That'd be legit. I don't know. Anyways, hello. Hello, little man. Little man. Okay. That's enough of the little man for now. Yeah, Elijah, I don't know what the heck happened. Yeah, and the whole chat froze too. I don't like, I see you, but I like everyone else is gone. I don't know. I think that's a sign from upon high that I need to wrap this shit up, because 160 minutes is almost 3 hours. But just a reminder, if you're interested in adopting this cat, he's available through Del Gato Rescue in Los Angeles. And he's a very good boy. Certified good boy. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, Elijah. I think all the bots pieced out. Either way, I'm gonna call it a night. Thanks for hanging out with me, man. I appreciate you. Shit went off the rails there for a minute. If it's just you and me, Elijah, we're just gonna chill for a second. I don't care. I'm gonna. Oh wait, the fuck. Ah, shit. Fuck. Hey, I'm. Betty. Boop. I gotta tell you, I was actually gonna say this earlier, but like if it's just a couple of us now, Elijah, I'll actually show you a little bit more in person. Um, I gotta tell you, beep, beep, blue. I'm very concerned about Louisa. Um, she's been very lethargic of late, and she's using the litter box outside, or she's peeing outside the litter box a lot, which worries me. Like, I don't know if you can see, but all these like marks are where she's peed outside the litter box. Like, can you hear that? So I worry. I I hope it's just stress or a urinary tract infection, but she's got that stomatitis disease, and it usually usually the end of that story is kidney failure and urinating outside the litter box is a sign of kidney issues too. So I'm very nervous that her time is starting to come to a close. And the other thing, and this is what scares me even more than the using the bathroom outside of the litter box, because like I said, that could be just a UTI. She camps out right here. She just camps there. Like she'll just be there for hours on end. Like she doesn't want to move. And that kind of stuff worries me because my cat Thule, towards the end of her life, would do a very Benny. What's up, Faithless? Glad you missed the crazy part earlier, because this friggin' live went off the rails, like crazy. But yeah, the Ozman's back there. Ow! It hit my arm. I was gonna say, where's my mezuzah? But yes, I am Jewish. I'm also atheist, but whatever. But yeah, Faithless. Ozzy doing really well. Currently up for adoption at Delgato Rescue in Los Angeles. But yeah, I'm very concerned. Like I don't know how much you overheard. I feel you on that one. But yeah, I don't know how much you heard, but I'm very worried about poor Louisa, because she's been using she's been peeing and pooping outside of the litter box of late, and she's been very lethargic, and she, like I mentioned to Elijah, she has this tendency now where she'll just post up right here for hours on end, just like kind of like plop down, like not like baby blue is right now with a loaf, not standing, like not sitting proud. Yeah, you know what, Faithless? My hope is that I hope it's option one and not option two. But I'm afraid it's option two because she does have stomatitis. So, the end to pretty much every cat with stomatitis is kidney failure. So, I mean, look, it's a very cold thing to say that I do need to thin out my herd somewhat. So, if it's her time to cross the rainbow bridge, it's going to be terrible. But but here's the thing with Louisa, it was always like I always knew that she was going to be a short term situation where she's she's been in my care for about 2 years now, and the reason she still is here is that there's no way I can pawn off a stomatitis terminally ill cat on some rando. yeah, so you know, and this is the thing, and this is the thing I wanted to chit chat with y'all. Thank you, Elijah, by the way, and thank you, Faithless, for the the confab, because I think, but yeah, but yeah, and here's the thing, Faithless, I don't want her to suffer at all. Like, like I talked about Thule, when we were out on the colony and we were all crying together, as it were. But, and I talked about how she died, like, and that I came back to the house to find her dead. And I don't think she suffered too much at the end of her life, but I do think when your kidneys fail, it hurts, So, I don't want Louisa to suffer. Yeah, and I mean, and Faithless, I mean, I don't know if you've seen the photos or if you follow me on Instagram or something, but yeah. But yeah, she had 2 years. She's doing so much better now than at least, yeah, she'd have been dead by now without me. And like, that's the thing. I'm not kicking my ass in any way, shape, or form. I think if anything, I deserve pats on the back, big props. Like, I think I did an objective good with Louisa. And like I said, I gave her, and like you said, she's had 2 years of love, of delicious food on a regular basis. She doesn't need to worry about cars. She doesn't need to worry about fleas. She doesn't need to worry about any of that crap. It's taken care of. Um, so Candyland, kidney failure is actually it's, you know, yeah, and you know what, Faithless? I'm praying to the spaghetti monster. My hope against hope is that it's just a UTI, But I'm also like trying to like mentally and emotionally prepare myself for bad news. And I think, and this is where I need to like be open and honest with you guys, and that this is where I'm failing personally a little bit, is that I'm kind of psyching myself out and getting so worried that it's kidney failure and bad news that I'm literally like becoming avoidant of calling the vet in at all. And it's like, because I don't want to hear bad news, But that's a failing. That's a me failing, and and that's also me being selfish because I don't want to hear bad news. But Louisa deserves to hear the news, whether it's good or bad. That'll be certainty that, I don't know what I don't. Ugh. Yeah, those infections freaking suck. I mean, the last thing that went through my house was fleas, and thankfully we got that taken care of. But yeah, when all the cats get the same shit at the same time, it sucks. Sorry, y'all. Dab time. Dab time, and then we're calling the stream. Whee! Benny, 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 Benny. Well, I mean, Mike. Yeah, Faithless. I really enjoy. Well, I don't want to say I enjoy, but my current vet, I've had very good luck with him. In the past, because he knows I do rescue. Um, you know, in the past he's given me discounts on stuff for you know, for when I bring in a new cat. I brought in a cat that had jaundice, and you know, he was not doing well. And uh, the vet actually I mean, he didn't give it to me all for free, but he gave me the X-ray was free, and you know, X-rays can get very expensive very fast. So the fact that he was willing to cover the X-ray was like, I like you. I'm going to you from here on out, because there is a vet who's closer to me, who I've also been to. But two things: number one, that dude never seems to have any availability. So yeah, my current guy, I feel like in general is a decent dude, an honest dude, and I'm glad, you know, I'm glad that that at least as far as my experience, I found a good dude who's close to my apartment too. With like, it's not he's not the closest vet to my apartment, but he's close. Sorry, dab time, y'all. Happy 420. Yeah, Argila, I am in LA. And yeah, Faithless, I have the same feeling. Like, my vet really cares about the animals. Oh, Yvonne, yeah, this is my, it's dab time right now. Yeah, thank you, Faithless. And you know, sorry, excuse me. You know, we'll hope she's better. Excuse me. Yeah, Argila, I'm kind of at the point where like regular flour doesn't really do it for me. Like, I have to smoke so much of it. Oh, Candyland, I got the, yeah, but yeah, my ADHD is freaking next level. And the thing is, I was prescribed in high school pretty much all the ADHD drugs, and they all suck donkey balls as far as I'm concerned. And so I'm raw dogging it. I like to say I'm raw dogging it through life with. Thank you so much, Faithless. I appreciate you. You rock, dude. But so, I mean, and Candyland, here's the thing. Right now, I'm just kind of BSing, so I'm really like raw dogging it through life and like really embracing the ADHD, because like I don't really care where this conversation goes, because it's the weave, you know. We're hopping from topic to topic. We're telling stories. We're having discussions and arguments. We're talking about cats. We're smoking weed. We're all over the place. But like, I mean, here's the thing. ADHD is kind of a superpower, because like right now I'm just BSing, so I'm all over the place. But like when I need to hyper focus, I don't know about you, but I have the ability to like so hyper focus that like I am like a freaking laser sometimes, or I'm just like I'm doing one thing and I can and like I it's like I'm in a tunnel doing that thing and nothing else for hours out on end. And like and I'll just completely I'll like be like hyper focused on that and nothing else, and I'll completely like lose myself in that activity. And that's also partially Elijah. Um this is also partially why I sometimes mean to cut off streaming and then I just go off on a tangent, and because I enjoy BSing with you guy with you guys. And so I don't mind if the topic is ADHD, because but the real ADHD isn't me BSing. It's the fact that this conversation has gone on for 3 hours now plus, where it really should have been between 45 minutes and an hour long. Because like I said, like one of the biggest symptoms for me with ADHD is time dilation, where I just like lose track of what's going on. And even and it's worse for stuff that's fun like this, like lock picking, and for what else is like the worst thing. And I don't know about you or anybody else ADHD who's watching this, and you're free to talk about that. But yeah, I just like menial tasks like cleaning litter boxes. I've got a fair amount of litter boxes, I'm sure y'all can assume, but like cleaning litter boxes, like when I get into that, I can be doing it for hours and completely not know how long it's taken me. And Faithless, he crossed the street again today. I'm shitting myself a little bit about him. I'm not gonna lie. Uh Here's the situation with yeah, exactly. Exactly. I don't, and you know what makes it worse? He wasn't the only cat on that side of the street now. There's multiple, they're crossing. Oh my God. Oh, this is going to end so badly. Oh my God. It's not good. But yeah, one thing I've noticed is that the rescue that I'm working with, it's because they're scared. It's because I don't know. It's because something bad is I'm worried that something bad is happening to them at the colony. Because oh, Yvonne, same. I'm big. I mean, first off, a lot of the stuff that I watch, because professionally I'm a cook, I'm a chef. A lot of the stuff that I'm working with should never go through a dishwasher, anyways. But yeah, I'd call it a beanie. Like it's just a beanie. Um, does have a cool story. I bought it in a Berber village in Morocco when I was 18. So I've had it for quite some time. I actually bought this one, and I had a green and navy blue one that I gave to my girlfriend at the time. Um, I'm not sure if she still has that or not. Obviously, we haven't been dating for quite some time. She's actually married to somebody else now. But who knows? But yeah, I've had this thing for a long, long time. I've had it shit since I was 18, and I'm 33 now. So long time. Yeah. I'm in LA, Yvonne. But yeah. But yeah, that's the gist. All right, it's 2:30. I gotta go visit my parents' cat. I've been saying that for 3 hours now, and I don't know. So Candyland, I'm a Leo, but I don't do that whole things. All right, Faithless, that's the ticket. Couple of Brustoyevskis. a couple couple of Charles Brukowskis. Anyways, y'all, it's 2:30. I'm out of here. But I will show y'all one thing that I got for free from Universal Studios. I call it my new college sweater. Oosh! Established 1960, whatever. 64. Oosh! Can someone translate 36 into freaking freedom units, please? I'm dumb. I'm assuming it's very hot because I know 68 Celsius is 20 Fahrenheit. Or sorry, 20 C is 68 Fahrenheit. 21 C is 70. Frickin' hot is the conversion. Heard. All right. All right, y'all. I'm calling it. It's been real hanging out with y'all, but I need to go visit my parents' cat, and I've been chit-chatting for way too long, and my ADD is going crazy. It means it's hot. Okay, the Aussies have come to a conclusion. It is frickin' hot. Yeah. Peace out, y'all. Have a good one, and I'll let Benny say bye. He's chosen to scratch his butt or lick his butt. Bye.